let's let's start with the first one. So children, can I know what was the answer that you got for question 1A?
Sir, 15, sir.
15 is the correct answer. Very good, children. Right? So the question is,
How about the others? You all have got 15. Anyone who has got a different answer?
children,
Okay, Sadhu teacher, we can continue.
right. So children, the answer is 15 is to 20. Right? Yes. So we have Shamara. I think I did a mistake. So I got 16. Yes. So do I think let's have a look. So we know that to go from 4 to 20, we have to multiply by 5. So you have to multiply 3 by 5, and that gives us 15. Right? So that is the answer, children. Very good. Okay. So what about the next question?
Excuse me, sir, it is 32.
It is 32. That is correct. Right? So children, did all of you get 32, children? Good. Good. All right. So I'm getting some messages from some of our children. Yes. Yes, correct, children. So how do we get that? So 1 times 8 is 8. So that means 4 times 8 gives us 32. So the ratio 4 is to 1 can also be expressed as 32 is to 8. Very good. Okay. Part C. Children, what was the answer for part C?
7.
Excuse me, sir, it is 7.
7 is correct. So I didn't see who was which dua gave the answer. Very good, children. Right? So how you get that answer is, we know that 6 times 5 is 30. So we also know that 7 times 5 gives us 35. So the answer here is 7. So the ratio 35 is to 30 when simplified fully gives us 7 is to 6. Very good. Right? Very good, children. All right. So that is the answer to the first question. Now, children, question 2A. Can I have the answer to question 2A? Who can give me the answer?
Excuse me, sir, may I answer?
Yes, definitely, Buddha. So, Senesh Buddha, what is the answer?
2,000 rupees.
2000 rupees is correct. Very good. Very good. So, I hope that all of you got this answer, children. 2000 rupees is correct. So, children, you all are doing these questions very well. I'm very happy to hear that. So, how do we do this, children? So, we have 1200 rupees is the price of 3 shirts, right? So we need to find the price of 1 shirt. So what do? 1200 divided by 3, which is 400 rupees for 1 shirt. So you have to take 400 and multiply it by 5, which gives us 2000 rupees. Very good, Putha. Right. Thank you for the answer. Good. Who wants to answer part B?
Sir, may I, sir?
Sir, may I, sir?
Anujabuta will give Dua a chance. Yes, Dua, go ahead.
The answer is 40 meters.
40 meters, yes, I think it is correct, right? So the answer is, yes, it is 40 meters. So how do we work that out? So when we work it out, let's see. We have a map which 5 centimeters represents 25 meters. So now, children, again, this is the unitary method where we check how much 1 centimeter represents. So that means, children, 1 centimeter is going to represent how much? We divide by 5. That represents 5 meters. So therefore, children, for 8 centimeters, that is going to be 40 meters. Right? So that is correct. Right? That is the answer. Very good. Okay. So that is question 2. Right. Children, what about question 3A? Who wants to answer question 3A? So we have Anuja as usual. What about, are there any other children? Right. So Sandalidua is sending me an answer through message. Okay. I think our answer is correct. What about anyone else?
Anuja, are you doing your O levels this year?
Yes, madam.
Very good.
Good, good, good. Right. Okay. So Sandalidua, okay, we'll give Sandalidua another chance. So Dua, what is the answer for this one?
3 over 5.
3 over 5 is correct. Very good. Right. So children, for this question, I'll take a small diagram to help all of you with this. Right. So imagine that we have to dig this well. Right. So this is the total depth of the well. Now on the first day, right, on the first day we dig this much. On the second day we dig this much, and on the third day we dig this much. All right. So apparently on the first day the laborers were able to dig 2/5. Children, if the laborers were able to dig 2/5 of the well on the first day, the remaining amount is going to be 3/5. How do we get that? 1 minus 2/5. Right? Children, is that the answer that you all got? 1 minus
Yes,
2.
sir.
Good. So Anuja got the answer. What about the other children? Anyone else got something different? Oh, looks like everyone got the right answer. Good. Good. Very good, children. Right. Then, children, the next question is find what fraction of the total depth was dug on the second day. Who can tell me this? Right. So I'll give Anuja a chance again. Anuja, tell me the answer.
Sir, 4/5 of the well is being done, sir.
I'm sorry, Puta, it wasn't very clear to me.
Sir, 4/5 of the well.
4/5 of the well. Okay. So, any other answers, children? We'll calculate it and see. Is it 4/5?
Sir,
Yes. Dua?
sir, I got 2/5.
Right. So Sandali, you got 2/5. Anyone else? So now we have two different answers. Anyone else? So everyone got either 2/5 or 4/5. Right. So some children are telling me that they're not sure. Okay, let's check. Let's check. How do we do this question? Children, now you have to read this question very carefully, right? That's the trick, right? So it says clearly the laborers were able to dig 2/5 of the total depth of a well on the first day. So we are done with that, right? Now we have 3/5 remaining. And they're saying that 2/3 of the remaining depth was dug on the second day. So children, they didn't dig 2/3 of the well on the second day. They dug 2/3 of the remaining depth on the second day. Not the depth of the well. They dug 2/3 of the remaining depth on the second day. So how much is the remaining fraction, children, of the well? We have 3/5, isn't it? 3/5 is the remaining fraction. So 3/5 times 2/3. So remember, they dig 2/3 of the remaining 3/5. So when you do this calculation, you do indeed get 2/5 as your answer. So that means, children, this depth is 2/5 of the well. Okay, children? So that is the correct answer. Good. Then, children, if the depth dug on the third day was 2 meters, find the total depth of the well. Who can answer this one? Okay, so Sandalidua sent me an answer. Omira also sent me an answer. Very good. Who else? What about the others? Can I have an answer from you? I want to see what you have got. Yes, Anuja, tell us your answer as well.
Sir, I got it as 10 meters, sir.
Okay, Anuja got 10 meters. What about the rest of the children? So Sandali and Omira have also told me 10 meters. Right. So children, I'll work this one out. So remember, children, on the third day, they only had 1/5 left to dig. That's the first thing we have to remember, right? They only had 1/5 left to dig because 2/5 and 2/5, when you add them, you get 4/5, right? So from 1, when you subtract 4/5, you get 1/5 remaining. Very good. Okay, so that means, children, this 1/5, imagine the total depth to be x, right? 1/5 of x is the 2 meters, right? So to find x, you can multiply 2 by 5. So the answer is indeed 10 meters. So that means, children, on the first day, they actually dug 4 meters. On the second day also, they dug 4 meters. And the last day, they dug 2 meters, digging a total of 10 meters for the well. All right. Okay, children. So well done. Our children gave us some good answers. Okay. Next, let's go to the fourth question. Now, the fourth question also, I want some answers from our children. What did you get? What did our children get? Okay, so I have an answer. I have two answers. All right. Okay, right. Anuja, what is your answer?
Sir, I got for 4,000. The amount to pay is 8,000 rupees.
Okay, all right. So Anuja says 8,000. So I have got some other answers as well. So all of them actually are saying 8,000. Sure, anyone else got a different answer? We'll find out what the real answer is. Anyone else got a different answer? Not so far, no? All right, let's have a look and see. So children, the question is, the value of a refrigerator which is being imported is 40,000 rupees. If the customs duty that has to be paid is 20% of the value of the item, find the amount that has to be paid as duty, right? So the duty is the custom. So children, you all know about customs duty, right? Now you all are in your A-level, O-level class. I think you children have an idea about customs duty. So children, basically when you import something of value into the country, there is a tax that you have to pay to the government. That is called customs duty, especially if you bring something luxury like cars, right? So I think in Sri Lanka, the standard tax on a car is 300%. It used to be, at least I don't know what the current price is, right? So it's a very high tax, right? So the refrigerator apparently has a 20% tax. I don't know if this is the correct value, right? But we can calculate, children, what 20% of 40,000 is. How do you do that? You take 40,000 and you multiply it by 20 over 100. So when you do that, children, we can cancel out two of these zeros with the two of the zeros here. So children, that gives us 400 times 20. So 400 times 20, children, 4 times 2 is 8, and there are 3 zeros remaining. So the answer is indeed 8,000 rupees. So the tax that you have to pay is 8,000 rupees. All right. So that is the answer, children. Good. So all of your answers were correct. Very good.
Yeah, children, you have to put the unit rupees,
Yes.
right? If the rupees is not there, please indicate that it's a must. You will not get your answer if you just write 8,000, the marks you won't get.
Yes. So children, keep that in mind, right? Very important, because in vain you'll do all the work, get the right answer, but lose it because of not writing the unit, right? Don't do that. Okay. Children, let's go to the last question. So 5A, who can give me the answer? So I'll read the question, right? It says it takes 8 men 9 days to complete a certain task. How many days will it take one man to complete the same task, right? So I have some answers from some of our children. So they're saying 72 days is the answer. So can I get some others to give us the answer as well? Any other answers? Children? Yes, Anuja.
I can do only that question. A
All
doubt
right.
for me.
Okay. We'll have a look. So what about the
Some
other
teacher,
children? Yes.
explain direct proportion and this is inverse proportion, then they will get the idea.
Okay. All right. So children, in this case, now direct proportion, children, is where if you increase a quantity, say you have two quantities, right? If you increase one, the second one will also increase. So an example is like this. So let's say with 1 liter of petrol, you can run 10 kilometers, right? If you have 2 liters of petrol, you can run 20 kilometers. This is direct proportion. So one quantity will double, the other one will also double, children, right?
Yeah, direct proportion is always we are using. No, if they go to the shop to buy, we'll say 1 kilogram of sugar. 1 kilogram of sugar is 100 rupees. Then 2 kilograms of sugar is 200 rupees. So day to day life, they are doing that.
Yes.
Teacher.
Yes. So that is direct proportion, children. So
Yes.
indirect proportion, children, is the other way, meaning it's like this. So let's say uh, you have one quantity which is doubled. The second quantity, children, it will half, right? So I'll try to explain that concept in this question, right? So Dylan teacher, shall we explain that when we get to part C, or what do you think?
All right, it's okay.
Yeah, because that is the part where they are saying if 12 men are assigned the task, how many days will it take them to complete the task?
No, just explain what is happening there.
Okay,
Like
right.
take an example,
Right,
like
yes.
a construction,
We'll do it.
construction.
Yes,
And
that's a
then
good idea. Yes. So children will say like this. Imagine to build a house, right? It will take a single man 100 days, right? A single person, if he's going to build a house alone, it will take him 100 days. Children, if there are two people, right, then they can divide the work among them, right? So that means what the one person does is in 100 days, the two people can do in 50 days, children, right? That means that is indirect proportion. So can you see one quantity doubles, the other one halves, right? So similarly, children, if 4 people go to build the same house, that means the number of days come down to 25, because 100 you divide by 4. So one quantity you times by 4, the other quantity you divide by 4. So 4 people can build the same house in 25 days. Another example would be, imagine 100 people start building this house, they can build it in 1 day, right? Because all of that work that one man does in 100 days, right, 100 people can do in 1 day. Does that make sense, children? Right? So that is how that works. Okay, so children, in this question it takes 8 men 9 days to complete a certain task. How many days will it take one man to complete the same task? So children, if 8 people get together and it takes them 9 days, right, if a single man was to do all the work, he will have to take 8 times as much time, isn't it? Because uh, because if 8 people do a certain amount of work on 9 days, children, if only one man is doing it, then he will have to do that for 8 times more than he would do if there are 8 men doing it, right? So the answer is 8 times 9, which is 72 days. So children, the answer you all gave is correct. It is 72 days. Now part B is related to that, right? So
yeah,
part
if it's 72 only also, it's wrong, right? Sandu teacher,
yes,
they have to
it will be
mention
days.
days.
That is correct. Because they're asking how many days will it take one man to complete the task, right? So children, don't forget your units, right? So actually, Dylan teacher, our children, when they sent me the answers, they type days as well. So I have to,
Right, that's
yes, so they have done that well. Very good. So children, part B, what is the magnitude of the task in man days? Okay, what is man days, children? This unit, man days and man hours, is something you will hear. Man hours is how many hours will it take one man to do that task. Man days is how many days will it take one man to do that task. So that is actually what we calculated in part A. So one man will need 72 days. So therefore it will take 72 man days to do this task. It will take 72 man days to do this task. All right. Okay. Final question of the paper. Part C. If 12 men are assigned the task, how many days will it take them to complete the task? Right. So I have one answer from Sandalidua. What about the others? Children, can I have an answer? This is the last question, so I want an answer from a lot of people. Okay, so Dulani also gave me an answer. Okay, what about the others? I have 3 answers so far. Children, can I see how many of you did this question? Part C, 5C. Okay, good. Right, so we have 2 people raising their hands so far. Okay.
How about Anuja?
Anuja couldn't do question 5, Deline teacher.
Madam, I could do only the fifth one, madam. It was a big doubt for me.
All right. Did you clear your doubt, Anuja?
Yes, madam. Thank you, madam. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Right. So children, I'll explain this one. So put your hands down. So children, what happens is, remember, if it's a 72 man day job, and if you give it 12 people, right, you divide the number of man days by the number of men, that will give you the number of days that it will take you to do this task.
Yeah, and Sandhun teacher, when they write, tell them to write 72 man days, and when you write 12 division also, you put man, and then you can cut the man, or what if they ask for days, then cut the day, then
Yeah.
you will get the answer.
That is correct. So I know that Deline teacher is speaking as a physics teacher there, because in physics, that is how you get your proper units, right? That is some good advice.
Yes.
So you have 12 men, right? And when you divide the 2 units, you have 6 days left, right? So that is absolutely right. Okay, so that is proper working, right? So it does take 6 days. So children, it makes sense, because if it takes 8 men 9 days to do a task, if there are 12 men, shouldn't it take less time? It should, right? So if there are 12 men, it will definitely take less time, and it will take only 6 days to perform this task.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why it's called inverse proportion.
Inverse proportion. That is exactly right. Okay. So children, that brings us to an end of today's lesson. So that is the end of the class questions sheet. So children, are there any unclear doubts that you want to clear up before we end today's lesson?
Anuja? Anuja, did you get it? Now you know how to do inverse proportion?
Yes, madam. But
Oh,
you
okay.
need to multiply the first man days. So we get a 1 day, and other thing is
Yes.
to give us for next thing, no, madam.
Yes, if they ask for days, then what do? You write the days and cut the day, and then you will get the number of men. Okay?
Yes, madam.
Okay.
All right.